Okay, we're on page 316. Headquarters, Department of Army, Soldiers Trainer Guide to Military Operational Specialist for 92F Petroleum Special Skill Levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Mate 6. Approved for public release and distribution unlimited. The call number is STP 1092F5, F15, SMT, and TG. And we're going to go back to 316, which is Chapter 3, Skill Level 2. Skill level 3, subject area. We're on the skill level 3 now. Subject area, direct general operations. Given the requirement to direct the Petroleum Pilferages Control Program in the field, environmental personnel material required to perform the task, 4 military occupational specialists, qualified N2F soldiers on operational petroleum facilities, risk management procedures, applicable material, safety data sheets, personnel protective equipment, unit standing authorization procedures, communication equipment, applicable reference materials. Directing a petroleum pilferage control in accordance to appropriate regulations unit the standard authorization procedures to ensure the security of the government property and accountability. Risk management procedure, understand and employment of the risk management procedure, risk and command of the guidance directed by the higher headquarters, success of the variable hazards, continuously report risk and risk reduction measures and appropriate the chain of command, monitor and evaluate the execution risk controls incorporated in and after the after action reviews, AARs, after action reviews. Determine the security requirements for the facility, to determine the size of the location of the facility, to determine if stolen items are concealed on a person, to determine if the stolen items are concealed in automobiles, to determine if the pilfered items are shaped and received through collision, determine if taken the invoices are used to move property, to determine if tanker truck will false bottoms are used to pilferage product, determine if the trash disposal, salvage disposal activities are used to hide the property. Determine the items have thrown off fences retrieved later. If the pilferage is planned for the security personnel. If the terms are removed the vehicles beyond the outside of the contract of the vendors. Distribute 3. That was security requirements for his facility. 3. The direct checkpoint personnel maintain the closed inspection of all vehicles entering and leaving the facility. Establish an orderly system to have all vehicles pass through the gate. Guarded the security personnel. Check the drivers, helpers, passengers for concealing unauthorized items. Check the vehicle for unauthorized contact. Establish security log. Enter the security log date, operator's name, description, loading time, entered and time departed. Check the vehicle operator has valid driver's license. Verify the seal number of the shipment documents. Examining the seals for signaling signs of tampering. Perform seal custodian duties. Record serial numbers of seals in the log. Safeguard all seals until they are issued to the user. Before serial numbers of transportation documents after vehicles are loaded. Have security personnel verify the seal numbers at every stop at all exits and exits and entrances. Determine security hazards for the pipeline hose line. Check for the loose flange pipelines. Check for the whole dugout of the pipeline hose line. Check for the loose hose couplings, hose line cutouts, and hose lines. Check for sabotage. Looking for the open pipe flanges, cut line, hose lines, fires, explosions. Monitoring pumps, loose valves, and sudden drop pressure. Implementation of the unit standard authorization procedures on a petroleum pilferage control program as soon as possible. Evaluation, C tasks and standards, and performance and measures. Apply risk management procedures. Determine security requirements facility. Determine check of personnel to maintain the closed inspection of all vehicles in leaving the facility. Perform seal custodian duties. Determine security hazards for pipelines and hose lines. Implemented the standard authorization procedures on petroleum pilferages control program. Evaluate if it's go or no go. If the soldier was done wrong, how to do it correctly. Field Manual 1067-1 Visual Science, Manual 3-1930, and Field Manual 3-112, 300-104. Let's see if we were rolling. Okay, we were rolling. Continuing on. Section Skill Level 3. Direct sling unloading operations. Given the requirement of the direct transportation of petroleum packaged petroleum products of 500-gallon collapsible drugs by air, personal materials required to perform the task through military occupational specialist, MOS 92F qualified soldiers, helicopter risk management procedure, applicable material safety data sheets, packaged petroleum products, fabricated static electricity discharge probe, clevises, assembly, slings, tape, personal protective equipment, helmet, goggles, earplugs, shock-proof gloves and leather gloves, A-22 cargo bag, multi-leg sling set, spill cleanup, control cleanup equipment, ground rod, DA form 7382R, sling loaded inspection record of DAOD form 1898, and fuel sale, slippage communication equipment, applicable reference materials, direct sling load operations, ensuring the cargo is properly rigged and transported without loss. If the cargo damages the system, to the equipment, injury of the personnel, the pollution of the environment, the task must be performed according to the local environmental regulation policies. All right, performance steps. Applying risk management procedure, understanding implementation of risk management, patrol risk command to guidance directed by the high headquarters. Assess variable hazards, continuous risk, report risk and reduction measures as appropriate for the chain of command. Monitoring, evaluate escalation of the execution of risk controls incorporated within and after the action reviews. AARs, conducting brief and ensuring the personnel knowledge and conception of operation ordinance with accordance with the operation orders, unit standing authorization procedures, specific guidelines that pertain to the task or mission. Ensure personnel understand the mission on the task of the hand, individual task, a specific role to ensure of every personnel to accomplish the mission. Collective task of the group of the needs to perform the superordinate mission. Explain the degree of the risk involved. The personnel needs to be aware of stress safety and the personnel to stress safety for personnel to incorporate through the operation. Spill prevention and control of the measures hazardous waste and hazardous material management, environmental hazards. Discuss specific guidelines for pertaining to the sling load operation, grounding of bonding equipment of the aircraft, orientation of the site, approach to the aircraft, hand of the item, signal, hand and arm signals. Do not be in front of site safety. Do not be in front of the armed aircraft at any time. Marshalling areas. Conduct a pre-combat check and pre-combat inspection. Inspect personnel uniform, equipment of the serviceability and conformity into the mission, weather, and environment. Check the appropriate personnel protective equipment is on hand. Check the operator license, dispatch, preventive maintenance checks and services. Check the inventory equipment to ensure the components of parts systems are complete. With inspection, complete communication equipment, personnel knowledge of the communication procedures and operation instructions. Maintain communication with lower, higher echelon and render the reports as required. 5. Identify the cross and training of all personnel, including license of the section, equipment, project maintenance and repair requirements. Conduct final coordination with the aviation unit, airlift assess. Ensure that all necessary equipment and personnel are available for the operation. Brief personnel conducting the operational safety environmental hazards prior to the operation. Ensure the site of the accordance with the Field Manual 10450. 3 in paragraph 4.3 in Field Manual 304111. Check the DA Form 738-2R sling load inspection record properly fitted according to Field Manual 10453 Appendix 1 distributed in the proper units. Direct sling load operation according to Field Manual 10453. Make the spot corrections as necessary. Inspect the site of the hazardous material spills. Ensure the spills are cleaned up and report according to the locally policy. Ensure the preventive maintenance check services performed in accordance with the appropriate technical manuals. Verify the equipment in inventory, cleaning and stored of the equipment that is non-missionable capable if replaced with the fix before the equipment is stored. Maintain the records of the reports according to the unit standard authorization procedures. Applied risk management procedures, conducting brief, ensure personnel knowledge and concepts of operations, conduct pre-combat inspection, maintain communications lower, higher echelon, and rendering reports as required, identification training, the cross-training for all personnel to include the licensing and section equipment, project maintenance and required requirements, conducting final coordination of the aviation unit of the airlift assets, the ensured all necessary equipment personnel are available for the operation brief, conducting of the operation safety environmental hazards prior to the operation, ensure the site and according to the Field Manual 10453, paragraph 4.3, Field Manual 30411, check the DA Form 738-2 sling load inspection record sling load inspection record is properly filled out according to Field Manual 10453, Appendix 1 distributed in the proper units. Direct the sling load operations according to Field Manual 10453 made on the spot correction necessary. Inspect site of the inspect site for hazardous material spills. Ensure the spills are cleaned up, reported in accordance with local policy. Ensure the preventive maintenance check services are performed according to the appropriate technical manuals. Verify that all the equipment is in inventory, cleaned and stored. That all the equipment is non-mission. All equipment is non-mission capable is replaced and fixed before the equipment is stored. Maintenance records reports for according to standard authorization procedures, go or no go. DA Form 738R and DOD Form 1898, Field Manuals 104053 4 and 5, 1067 1, Field Manual 3041 11 30 112 301 3104. Direct sampling and gauging. Given the requirements of direct sampling and gauging products of the field, environmental materials required to perform the task, 3 military occupational specialists qualified 92F soldiers, risk management procedure applicable in military safety dashboards, personal protective equipment, a clear sample bottle, refueling tank, other examples, dripping plan, suitable owner of the waste fuel, the petroleum product sample, the visual examination, petroleum storage containers, product, the weight breaker, back and bomb thief, the 1 gallon sample, can can fuel handlers, glove pencils of DA Form 1804's petroleum samples, DA Form 3853 intergauge sheet using in-gauge tape and bob, DA Form 3853 outgauge sheet and usage in-gauge tape and bob, DA Form 3853 outgauge sheet using outgauge tape and bob, samples, cans, bottles, mill pour, sampling, clean paper towels, rags, aviation fuels and refueling vehicle systems, hydrometer cylinders, aqua glow test kits, 1 quart cleaning sample bottles, unit standing authorization procedures, all references and materials, direct sample engaging procedures, ensuring representative samples accurate gauge results are obtained accurately to quality and quantity of production, petroleum storage, handling containers. Performance. Failure to perform the task correctly may result in damage to the equipment or injury to the death and personnel. Higher risk management procedures. Understanding implementation risk management procedures, risk control command and guidance directed to the higher headquarters. Success and variable hazards. Continuous report risk reduction measures appropriate for the chain of command. Monitoring, evaluating, execution of the risk controls incorporated in and after action reviews. AARs. Implementation environmental stewardship. Measuring according to critical task 192F 3313. Conducting briefing, ensuring personnel knowledge of the concept, operation, in accordance with the operation orders and standard operation procedures in the unit, specific guidelines of the pertaining to the task and mission. Ensure the personal understanding of the mission and the task and the individual task, specific roles, environmentals, personnel to accomplish the mission, collective task of the group needs to perform the support mission. Explain the degree of the risk involved with the personnel needs to be aware. Stress safety for the personnel incorporated through the operation, spill prevention control measures, hazardous waste material management, environmental hazards. Discuss specific guideline for the pertaining of the sample guiding procedures, identifying the cross-training and the cross-training for all personnel performing sampling and gauging. Conduct pre-combat checks and pre-combat inspection. Personnel uniform and equipment for serviceable and in conformity with the mission and weather and environment. Check for the appropriate personnel and equipment on hand. Check the appropriate license dispatch. Preventive maintenance. Check services records. Check applicable reference materials and forms on hand. Inspect communication equipment, personal knowledge of communication procedures, operating instructions. Ensure qualified personnel is available to perform the operation. Ensure the proper gauging equipment is available for the operation. Supervise sample engaging operations on the spot corrections. Ensure all necessary information samples are taken and provided to support the laboratory. Review all gauging records and quantity calculations of equipment and implementation statement of authorization procedures, maintenance records, reporting according to the standard authorization performance, applied CTEX task conditions standards. Applied risk management procedure, implementation, environmental stewardship, making sure the critical task 10192 F3312. Conduct briefing, ensured in personnel knowledge of the concept of operations, identify training, cross-training for all personnel performing sample engaging, conducting pre-combat checks and pre-combat inspections, ensured qualified personnel are available to perform the operation, and ensure the proper sample engaging equipment is available. An operation, a supervised sample engaging operation makes this on-the-spot corrections, ensured all necessary information samples taken are provided to the supporting laboratory, reviewed all gauges and required records and quantity and calculations for accuracy, implementation of standard authorization procedures, maintain records and report according to standard authorization procedures. Soldier go if measures are passed. Soldiers no go if performance or measures are failed. If the soldier goes no, what's done and wrong and how to do it correctly. The AR 710-2, DA Form 1804, 3853, 1, 2, and 3, Field Manual 1061, 1060. 1067-1, 1067-2, AR 201, Field Manual 114, Field Manual 3112, Field Manual 3104, Military Handbook 1022A, Military Standard 3004A. Okay, implementation of a petroleum fire and safety program. Given the requirements of the implementation of petroleum fire safety program in the field, environmental personnel materials required to perform the task. 6 military occupational specialists qualified in the N2F soldiers fire extinguisher is simulated by the simulated actual control fire risk management procedures, applicable material safety data sheet, personal protective equipment such as gloves, face shields, fire protection boots, cold trouser boots, hood and harnesses, gloves, a twin agent unit with the nitrogen containers, aqueous forming foam, AFFF, aqueous filming foam, film, forming foam, solution, dry chemical, simulating actual control fire facility response plan, spillville prevention control countermeasures plan, oil discharge contingency plan, if then required hazard material information sheet, unit standing operation procedures, local policy regulations, DA Form 2404, equipment inspection maintenance worksheet, DA Form 5988E, inspection maintenance worksheet, EGA, all reference material, standards, implementation, petroleum, fire and safety program according to standard authorization procedures, local policy regulations at higher headquarters, and failure to perform the task correctly may result in damage to the equipment or injury to death personnel. And before performing the task, read and comply with the appropriate material safety data sheets. Apply risk management procedures, understand the implementation risk management process, risk controls command, guidance directed by the higher headquarters, access variable hazard contingency, report risk and risk reduction measures appropriate for the chain of command monitoring, evaluation, execution, risk control incorporated with an after action review, implementation, environmental stewardship measured accordingly to critical 10292 F3312. Conduct briefings, ensure personnel knowledge on the concepts of operations in accordance with the operation orders and the unit standard authorization procedures, specific guidelines that pertain to the task or the mission. Ensure the personnel understand the mission and the task at hand, individual tasks, and specific role of every personnel to accomplish the mission, collective task of the group needs to perform the task to support the mission. Explain the degrees involved. The personnel needs to be aware of stress safety of the personnel incorporated through the operations, spill prevention control measures, hazardous material waste management and environmental hazards. Discuss specific guidelines to pertain to the petroleum fire safety program. Refer to the unit standard authorization procedures. Conduct pre-combat checks, pre-combat inspections, inspection personnel uniforms, equipment serviceability, and conformity with mission, weather, and environment. Check the appropriate personal protective equipment is on hand. Check all applicable reference materials are required. Required forms, inspection, communication, equipment, personal knowledge, communication procedures, operation instruction, inspection, compliance with the unit and standard authorization procedures, fire safety hazards. Ensure corrective action taken and immediately follow deficiency discovered. Inspect the fire extinguisher monthly and serviceability. Ensure replacement and on and serviceability. Check appropriate number of the personnel working in the given area. Check the equipment operating in the area without the flame and spark arresters. Check for spill, leaks, and vapors, and if many present for the problem in the area. Ensure the fire air state equipment is located in the area. 6. Schedule train according to the unit standard authorization procedures. Ensure training cover fightings of the fire with an extinguisher of the twin agent unit performing first aid. Conduct training on the twin agent unit covering the following areas: operational procedure, unit positioning, unit maintenance procedures, using proper firefighting techniques to control suppressing of fire, ensuring firefighting equipment, the tactical twin agent unit is operational ready in status, develop procedure soldiers are followed with the alarm has been given to the fire, conduct the fire drills of the twin agent unit, ensure the safety equipment training techniques are used to control, extinguish, suppress fire, evaluate the severity of the fire to call the additional help needed. 13. Fill out the accident report according to the local policy. Turn in the supervisor maintenance records and reports according to standard authorization procedures. Risks apply. See the task condition standards apply. The risk management procedure implementation environmental standard which measured according to the critical task in 101 92 F 3312. Conduct the brief uninsured personnel knowledge and concept of authorization conduct. Pre-combat checks and combat checks inspection. Inspected area compliance with the unit of standard authorization procedure. Fire safety hazards. Scheduled training in accordance with the standard authorization procedure, training of the cover of the fighting of the with an area with an extinguisher, twin agent unit, and performing first aid. Conduct the training of the twin agent unit. Ensure that the training of the equipment of the twin agent unit is operational ready and status. Developing procedure soldiers are to follow when the alarm has been given in the fire. Conducting the fire drills using a twin agent unit. Ensure safe and effective techniques used to control the extinguish and suppress the fire. Evaluate the severity of the fire and the additional help is needed to fill the accident report except according to local policy. Turn and supervisor maintain records and reports according to the standard authorization procedures. It's a go or no-go situation. No-goes were done wrong and will be corrected. DA Form 2404, DA Form 598E, Field Manual 1067-1, Field Manual 3112, 3104, TM Related Technical Manual 104210, 23513. Alright, implementation of Petroleum Environmental Stewardship Protection Program. Given the requirements to administrate the Environmental Stewardship Program in the field environment, personnel materials required to perform the task are 14 military occupational specialists qualified in 92 F Soldier Petroleum Operation Hazardous Materials. Off the hazardous materials with the might generation hazardous waste, local, state, and federal host nation environmental laws, applicable material safety data sheets, hazard material identification sheet, or hazard material identification system, facility response plans, prevention control, spill prevention control, countermeasure plan, oil discharge contingency plan. If required, the unit of hazardous waste and hazardous material management policy, all reference materials, administrative environmental stewardship program which allow missions to accomplish the minimizing damage to the environment. Failure to perform the task correctly may result in the damage to the equipment or injury to the death of personnel. Apply the risk of the procedure, understanding the implementation risk management process, risk control recommended, the guidance directed to the high hazard corps, assess variable hazards continuously, report risk reduction measures as appropriate, the chain of command, monitoring, evaluation, execution, risk control incorporated in the after-action reviews via applicable material safety data sheets, and maintain material safety data sheets all petroleum products which may be site, which might be a sample of the point material safety data sheet is accessible. Location update. The material safety data sheet is required to ensure the personnel read and comply with the appropriate material safety data sheet. Communicate good environmental ethics to subordinates. Train subordinates to identify environmental impact of the impacts of missions. Counsel subordinates important protection of environmental consequences of complying environmental law regulations. Incorporate environmental considerations of the advanced the AARs. Consider subordinates with the familiar local, state, and federal HN laws, which says HN, host nation environmental laws to apply with them, as well as the local standard authorization procedures. Identify the environmental associated with the given prior to the conduction of the mission. Identify the conducting environmental sustaining actions, training in this absence. Seek specific guidance within morality and right with regard to the environmental. Ensure hazardous substances are stored and turned in accordance with local policy and applicable environmental regulations. Ensure proper conservation of resources, ensure hazardous items are ordered and stored in minimum quantities needed for the mission, ensure that the support of the unit recycling program, ensure techniques so avoid overusing polluting training land, waterways, airs, and other frequent use and training requires ensure appropriate equipment is on hand, hazardous material spill containment cleanup in the prior to the beginning of any of operation, ensure the personnel conduct the operation and trained in the proper unit of the spill cleanup containing the equipment employing proper procedures according to the FR plan, the fuel response plan, spill prevention, counter control measures, cleanup plan, ensure patrolling spills generated the operation are cleaned up and immediately reported to the accordance with the FRP, fueling response plan, and the spill prevention counter cleaning plan. See task considering applied risk management procedure go or no procedures go or no go, verified applicable material safety data sheets go or no go, and completed guide with environmental ethics to standards, identify environmental risks associated with given prior to the conduction mission inspected, identify and conduct environmental sustaining activities and training as absent specific guidance due to what is morality right in regard to the environment. 6. Insurance hazard is stored and returned in accordance with the local policy, applicable environmental regulations, ensured proper conservation resources, ensured appropriate equipment is on hand, hazardous materials, spill contaminant, cleanup prior to the beginning of any operation, ensure prior personnel conducting any operation are trained in the proper use of the spill cleanup of contaminant equipment and employ the procedure in accordance with the FRRP SPCC plan, ensure petroleum spill generated the operation cleanup and immediately reported in accordance with the FRP and the SPCC plan. And sculptures go or no go. If there's no go, they failed wrong and do it correctly. Field Manual 3112 and Field Manual 3104. Subject Area 10 direct tank vehicles. We're going to stop there.